Alright guys, I'm going to try to do this a different way. My videos keep getting shut off due to my phone, so I'm trying the live version. Alright, so basically last time we started off, or last time we ended, we were putting grease into the swivel arm here. I was just getting ready to grease everything and get it all put together. By the way, Datsun 240Z, 260Z, 280Z. These are the turn signal switches. 77 and 78 280Z switch is a different type of switch. Very similar, same bolt pattern, same type of handle. This piece is similar also, so this all applies. So basically, I've already sandblasted, cleaned, painted this piece, which is the handle. I'll put on the rubber handle afterwards, after it's been cleaned. So, try to get this along and get it done quickly. The grease is the Sil Glide. Put a little bit of grease in there. Take your small skinny screw, pop that in there. Your little brass bullet. It's kind of long, you can see. I don't know how well you can see that. I'm going to put a little bit of grease in here, again, on top, in the spring. Put that in there. Alright, pop it in. It should work properly like that. Alright, set that aside. Take a little bit of grease. Put it inside here where this brass bullet's going to touch. Inside there. So we're just going to put some in there just to kind of relieve some of the stress and all that fun stuff. Make it so it glides a little bit easier. I already put grease inside here and here, which is where your ball bearing springs go. The grease is 1 for friction, 2 holds them in place. They don't go anywhere. We'll put the ball bearings in later on. Right now, the pin that I showed you on another video of how to squish it and get it to come out without destroying it. We're going to set that in there, make sure it goes in, pull it out just right, hold it in place. Slip this in, gonna push it in, get the hole, and that should go through just fine. Should, doesn't necessarily mean will. Then, alright, quickly find something that has a good flat edge. So when you squish this other metal right here on the pin, it's going to squish easily. So way back there, you got the most amount of torque. So you can give it a squeeze here, come to the other side, 180 degrees, squeeze it again, and as you can see, maybe it's starting to get a little bit flatter. You just want it flat enough to not slip back through the hole. Now one thing you can do is squeeze it under there, grab a pair of channel locks, squeeze here, so you kind of got a double squeeze, one from this right hand and one from this hand. Be careful so you don't scratch your new paint. I put my belly up here just to keep it from moving around. Alright, it's squishier, and as you can tell, it's just barely able to come through. I'll do it again on this side. Again, try not to scratch the paint. When you flip it around, it's not always easier. Squish and squish. Alright, there, now you can see it's got a much wider head on it, and it won't fall through the hole anymore. Pop that back up. Alright, set it aside. Your main chassis here, we're going to put, you can see the ball bearing tracks. It's indented from the ball bearings, pushing on it for 40 years. I don't know how well you can see that. Right there, you can see the indents from the ball bearings. That's where your new grease is going to go. Put a little bit here, and all 3 little valleys. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to put a little bit here, not very much, just a little bit. I'm going to put some on the inside. I'm going to squish it around there like that. Then, on the slide track right here, I'm going to put some there, some here, some right in here, and some right down in here. I've already cleaned all these white plastic pieces that come off of this. You can do it with acetone, it will not melt them. It's not like the black ABS. So we're going to pop that in there. Work it back and forth. We're good. Nice and slick, nice and smooth. Alright, so we're going to grab this piece. Again, we're going to put a little bit of grease up on the top of the spring. That will hold the ball bearings in place as we go to put them into there. I'm going to put a little bit on here. You can see there's reliefs in here. Just like some items you've seen before. It kind of holds the grease in place for later on, like on wheel bearings, stuff like that, axles. Alright, doesn't take much. Remember, they barely used any in some spots 40 years ago, 45, 48 years ago, and 70. Anyways, get them in there, give them a squeeze like that, bring it into here, line it up, push it down in there. Now it's back in place. As you can tell, it's very snappy, crisp, the way it should be. Put a little bit of grease on this collar right down here, because that's where a C-clip is going to sit. Again, this is kind of what separates my switches from other people's. It's just the amount of grease. Don't go ballistic on it. Just get the right amount in there. That's going to help it do its job. There, nice and easy. It's not going to come back out. You can tell, it's nice and smooth there. Spring. The one that goes on top, aiming like a mustache. Kick that to the left, put it in and on. Come over here, just barely grab the end of that, and push that like that. Pop it in place, just like so. There, doesn't do anything for this at the moment. That spring is made for when you push this too hard with your steering wheel. You have little locator pins that cancel out your turn signal switch. Anyways, squeeze this like that, pop it in there. Of course, we're going to put a little bit of grease on this cap because that fits into the spring plate. So squeeze again, because you want these little pins right here to sit on this side of this spring. Just like that. Pop springs in there. Or actually, screws. I don't know why I call them springs. Alright, I'm going to screw them in really quick. And knock them all out of the holes. That was intelligent. Alright, do it again. Usually I just do one at a time. I just thought I'd try to do it a different way, and you can tell that that didn't work. So let's just do these three right here. We're going to save the plastic horn tab block screw for later. So now, as you can tell, it's not wanting to go all the way because that spring we put in, it is basically stopping you from over torquing it. That's a problem because it stops the switch from being fully engaged. So when you have that problem, straighten it up, turn it to that side, pull this out of the way, and you can see the end of that spring we put in. Grab your flat nose, expose that, grab onto it, go this way. How well you can see it, we want to turn like that. We'll try it again, look at that. Now this goes all the way over where it should. Still got a little bit of spring there. I'm going to do it again over here. I can tell it's got a little bit of springy to it. We're going to bend it just a little bit. And yes, you must have that spring in there. That is what allows this handle to push your spring plate like that. So now you can see everything goes all the way to one side and all the way to the other. Okay, so that is that. It's very simple. That's the mechanical side of all this. You can clean your rubber handle, get 40 years of grease and goo and skin, and yeah, it sounds disgusting because it is. Anyways, throw it on a little screw tip. Get a nice soft cloth, load it up with isopropyl alcohol. Run it, clean it, just do that. Don't use the acetone on it. It'll really break into the rubber. So just isopropyl alcohol, do that, and then use the Plastex from Meguiar's, again, on another clean spot of that towel. Do it again, you'll have this thing looking nice and shiny and beautiful, and get rid of what you can see here, the dull. That is years of sun beating down on it, skin from your hands, the oil from your hands, of who knows hands owned the car before you. You get the idea. I'll set that aside. I'll do that here in a minute. Alright, so after you're all done with that, you're going to put your finished switches. Alex 9, this is your switch. I'm sorry it looks like that, but previous owner syndrome is what I call this. POS. Not piece of shit, just POS, previous owner syndrome. Basically, somebody got to it, they cut the wires on accident, or they extended it, whatever they did, but there's butt connectors, black tape, all that. I'm going to replace all these wiring. It's just the way it is. So, this wire got overheated. I don't know how well you can see that. It got overheated, the solder from somebody soldering it. I'm going to rip all that off. I'm going to clean up this box, like I've shown on the other videos. Same thing, you can see it's just, it just doesn't even want to move. It's just, I don't know why, it just does not want to move. It's, that should not be like that. So, we're going to have that working like jelly, just nice and easy. So, I'll take care of all that, get all this back together, but I just wanted to show you the mechanical side. After you've cleaned everything with brake cleaner, repainted, you can sandblast it if you want, just make sure you blow it all out, get all the sand and media out of the screw holes. Don't worry about replating these, nobody can see it. Replating is great, but only if you have to worry about rust, which most people don't. If you do, just take some grease and just spritz it on there, and just, or some oil, engine oil, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just basically cover it so it has a nice light film just to protect it from moisture, oxygen, etc. So, that's it. You can see, very simple, very nice and easy. It'll look pretty when we're all done, when he gets it back in his car. Alright, Datsun Dave, signing off again. Have a great day.